back up. They're going that way. They're going that way, guys. You gotta back up.
Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis had an unexpected face-to-face encounter yesterday, especially after their heated exchange on X, formerly Twitter, the day before. It seemed like their meeting was inevitable, as their social media feud had set the stage for more than just online trash talk. The drama started when Crawford was returning from the Ring Magazine Awards in London. Meanwhile, Davis, who recently stepped away from training camp, had a meeting abroad as he prepared to return to training soon. Fate brought Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis together, creating the perfect opportunity for tensions to explode. Davis was the first to spot Crawford, and instead of keeping his distance, he confronted the former undisputed welterweight champion about their online feud. Crawford, unfazed by the situation, replied casually before walking away. However, Davis wasn't ready to let it go and kept shouting after him. The scene ended when Crawford's team stepped in to separate the two, pulling the pound-for-pound king away from the commotion. It's clear that things are heating up between Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis. While fans are anticipating a potential Crawford versus Canelo matchup, it's worth keeping an eye on the growing tension between Crawford and Davis. Whether it leads to a boxing match, a street fight, or something else entirely, their feud doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. This clash seems to stem from events at the Ring Magazine Awards in London on Saturday, where Davis was notably present. What started as an online spat may be turning into something much bigger. The Ring Magazine Awards in London this weekend brought together boxing's biggest names, showcasing the sport's elite. However, one noticeable absence was Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Despite his impressive 30-0 record with 28 knockouts and his plan to retire in 2025, Davis didn't attend the event. It appears he may not have been invited, possibly due to tensions with Riyad Season and Sheikh Turki Al Sheikh, who also owns Ring Magazine. The lightweight champion didn't take the exclusion lightly, seemingly feeling left out of one of the sport's most prestigious gatherings. Sustained. Gervonta "Tank" Davis expressed his frustration on his X account in a series of posts that he later deleted. His comments targeted both the organizers and attendees of the Ring Magazine Awards, sparking speculation about why he wasn't present. Though the exact reason for his absence remains unclear, his strained relationship with the Riyadh season team might have played a role. Terence Crawford didn't miss the chance to mock Davis online, turning the situation into a social media feud. The back and forth escalated quickly, keeping fans entertained and the drama alive well into Tuesday. The rivalry between Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis has been brewing for a while, with the two trading insults and taunts in the past. Recently, Crawford, who is rumored to be gearing up for a potential blockbuster fight with Canelo Alvarez later this year, seized the chance to mock Davis. Responding to Davis's deleted posts about being excluded from the Ring Magazine Gala, Crawford posted, "I see somebody mad they weren't invited to the Ring Magazine Gala. I remember being left out. That's why when they let me in, I crashed the party," followed by laughing and mocking emojis. Though Davis deleted his posts, some were captured by users, giving insight into why Crawford's response struck a nerve. To understand the tension, it's important to revisit Davis's original remarks, where he vented his frustration about not being included in the prestigious event. Although Gervonta Davis deleted his posts, Several outlets captured and reported on them. In one post, Davis questioned the event's exclusivity, writing, "Why didn't they invite everybody? But they invited people they deal with. Get out of here, stop bum eating." He then seemingly took a jab at Eddie Hearn, saying, "Look at that little rat thinking he came up on something. Now tell them all to fight each other since they have a heavy roster." Davis also called out Sheikh Turki Alalshik, first sarcastically, suggesting the attendees should all fight each other, then criticizing the Sheikh for not knowing anything about boxing. His remarks added more fuel to the ongoing drama surrounding his absence from the Ring magazine gala. Gervonta Davis's deleted posts also appeared to take direct aim at Sheikh Turki Alalshik, head of the Riyadh season. In one of his messages, Davis criticized the Sheikh's involvement in boxing, stating, "They want to act like this guy is good for boxing when he's not good at anything. If he's so good, why isn't he building up people from where he's from? This guy knows nothing about boxing." And that's who they're turning to. Davis doubled down on his frustration, implying that the sport's direction under such figures was misguided. Though the posts were later deleted, they captured Davis's discontent with the event and its organizers. Gervonta Davis also vented about how some fighters are willing to leave the US to earn their paychecks, only to perform in front of small, underwhelming crowds. His frustration spilled over into his ongoing feud with Terence Crawford, which escalated further on Tuesday. Davis reportedly boasted to Crawford about having more money, sparking yet another exchange. Crawford's response didn't sit well, with Davis leading him to fire back in a series of since-deleted posts, calling out Crawford over his earnings. The heated back and forth showcased the growing tension between the two champions, with no signs of either backing down. The feud between Terence Crawford and Gervonta "Tank" Davis took another heated turn when Davis bragged about earning more money than Crawford. Crawford fired back, saying, "I still make more than you. Y'all think he's chasing greatness. He's not. That's what he has to do to make decent money. The first thing a rich fool tells another rich fool is, I have more money than you. I bet I have more investments than you, and I don't. Owe $1 in taxes. You can't buy anything I can't buy and want, sir. And that's a fact. Let's see who has the longest lasting money, smart boy." Davis responded with insults and dismissed Crawford's comments, further fueling the drama. Fans may find this exchange intriguing, especially considering Davis's announcement last year during the Lamont Roach fight press conference that he plans to retire from boxing by the end of 2025. The tension between the two has only added more intrigue to their respective careers. Given Gervonta Davis' confidence and bravado, many fans might wonder why he seems so upset about something as trivial as not getting an invitation to the Ring magazine gala. However, this isn't the first time Terence Crawford has taken shots at the Baltimore native. Following Crawford's dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr. to become the undisputed champion, Davis reportedly claimed he could beat Crawford at 147 pounds. The Nebraska southpaw didn't let that slide, adding fuel to their simmering rivalry. With subtle digs and pointed remarks, their ongoing tension continues to keep fans talking about a potential showdown. Speaking on The Breakfast Club, a calm and confident Terence Crawford acknowledged Gervonta Davis's skills in the ring, but emphasized that boxing operates on different levels. If he thinks he can just move up to 147 and knock me out, he's got another thing coming, Crawford said, downplaying the banter. While a showdown between these two American boxing stars seems unlikely, Crawford's focus remains clear. His next big challenge is a potential fight against Canelo Alvarez.
gave a little prediction on the fight, talked about Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield. Talk about the punch resistance. What do you think of Tank's assessment, man?
Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis are currently separated by 3 weight classes, but their paths have crossed before. Crawford began his career at lightweight, where Davis is currently a world champion. Crawford later became undisputed at super lightweight, a division where Davis has also held a title. Since then, Crawford has continued climbing the ranks, dominating the welterweight division before debuting at 154 lbs last year. Meanwhile, Davis remains at 135 lbs, holding the WBA world title and maintaining a streak of knockout victories. Though Davis has joked in the past about knocking Crawford out, the bigger man has warned him to stay in his lane and not aim beyond his limits.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no real guys at 47.
See, okay. What about, everyone's talking about Errol fighting.
Although a fight between Terence Crawford and Gervonta Davis seems unlikely, some believe it wouldn't be a one-sided affair. In an interview with Real Life Productions, multi-division world champion Roy Jones Jr. called it a good damn fight, suggesting it could be competitive if they met just below the welterweight limit. I don't see anybody around beating. But unless they're way bigger than him, Jones said. But don't sleep on Tank. If they fought at about 145, that's a good damn fight, you understand me? His comments highlight the intrigue such a matchup could generate, even if it remains purely hypothetical.
But Crawford, on the other hand, I don't see nobody around that's gonna be that big bud unless somebody way bigger than him. But don't sleep on the fact that
Roy Jones Jr. further elaborated on why a Crawford versus Davis fight would be compelling, highlighting their high ring IQs and Tank's explosive power. That's the one thing Tank has that Errol Spence didn't, explosiveness. An explosive fighter can go far. I was only able to dominate across weight classes because of my explosiveness. It keeps opponents in check. For now, both fighters remain focused on their individual paths. Crawford is eyeing a massive jump to super middleweight to face Saul Canelo Alvarez, while Davis prepares for his March 1st bout against Lamont Roach Jr. at the Barclays Center. According to his latest press conference, Tank plans to retire by the end of the year, making his upcoming clash even more significant for fans.
if him and Tank fought at about 145, that's a good daggone fight. You understand me? Matter of fact, I'm gonna say that's a good damn fight. You understand me? Because they both have very high IQs, and Tank is very explosive. See, that's the one thing Tank got.
While the highly anticipated fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez appears to be on track, Gervonta Davis has managed to insert himself into the conversation. Crawford and Canelo are reportedly finalizing a deal for their mega fight this year, uniting two of boxing's top pound-for-pound talents. The agreement reportedly came together after both fighters met separately with Saudi chief Turki Al-Sheikh in London over the weekend, following a year of speculation and back-and-forth discussions. While most of the boxing world is thrilled at the prospect of this showdown, one of the sport's biggest stars, Gervonta Davis, doesn't seem too impressed.
Easy work. I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you.
Gervonta Davis doesn't seem enthusiastic about the potential fight between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, and his coach Calvin Ford has also weighed in with his thoughts. The debate over who would win between these two pound-for-pound stars continues to divide fans, as the fight would demand a significant jump in weight for Crawford. Speaking with Fight Hype, Ford shared his opinion on the matchup and appeared to favor the Mexican superstar Canelo Alvarez. The fight, if finalized, promises to be one of the biggest spectacles in boxing, drawing attention from all corners of the sport.
Terence Crawford, Canelo situation, do you think that's a fight where they could get to a weight that makes sense? Do you think that the weight would affect Terence Crawford?
Canelo's the king. Whatever he say, you understand?
Calvin Ford praised Canelo Alvarez while sharing his thoughts on the potential clash with Terence Crawford. Canelo is the king. It's a good fight, and I'd like to see how it plays out. Canelo has been making smart moves in his career, Ford said. He also touched on Crawford's performance in his recent fight at 154 lbs against Israel Madrimov, where Crawford secured a win but couldn't get the stoppage. It was his first fight at that weight. You can't say he didn't bring his power, he just needed to make adjustments. It's like when Benavidez moved up, it's about adapting, Ford explained. He added that he hopes Crawford gets another fight at 154 lbs to prove himself fully at that weight. If he can show the world he belongs there, great. If not, then we can start questioning it.
But it's a good fight. I like to see that fight, the outcome of it, you know what I'm saying? And then watching Canelo been making some good moves, you know, as far as fights and whatnot, you know.
Ford concluded by explaining why he believes Crawford is pursuing a fight with Canelo Alvarez. Terence is a bad boy. He's moving up because he wants that big fight. He's not getting any younger, and he's doing everything he needs to cement his legacy, Ford said. While Crawford has been focused on securing a showdown with Canelo, he's also been entangled in a heated exchange with Teofimo Lopez. Their feud recently escalated with a new round of verbal sparring on social media, adding more fuel to the fire between the two fighters.
Question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look? 147? 140.
Over the past 2 years, Terence Crawford has solidified his case as boxing's top pound-for-pound fighter, particularly after his dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr. in their super fight at 147 lbs. However, Gervonta "Tank" Davis, who competes at 135 lbs, was asked how he'd fare against Crawford, and he confidently claimed he could win within 6 rounds. 147? You know he's going to sleep. He ain't got no chance. Hey, I got round 6, Davis said. Crawford, however, dismissed the idea, stating, "Tank is in his weight class for a reason, and I don't see him moving up to 147 to face me anytime soon." He also touched on the unlikely matchup during a recent appearance on The Breakfast Club, a popular morning radio show on New York's Power 105.1 FM.
Man, everybody say, you know, what they'll do, you know, but Tank is in his weight class for a reason, and I don't see him come up to 147 to face me no time soon.
Appreciate it, Tank.
He's just talking, Crawford told co-hosts Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club. You know, he's confident in himself because he's been knocking out the fighters he's faced. No knock to Tank, but there are definitely levels to this. If he comes up to 147 thinking he's just gonna knock Terence Crawford out, he's got another thing coming. Crawford made it clear he respects Davis' abilities, but remains confident that such a matchup wouldn't play out the way Tank imagines.
Confidence in himself that he believes that he can do that because he's been knocking all these fighters out that he's been in the ring with.
Gervonta Davis, now 30, has competed as high as junior welterweight, the same division where Terence Crawford first became a fully unified champion. In June 2021, Davis showcased his power by dropping former WBA super lightweight champion Mario Barrios 3 times before securing an 11th round TKO victory at State Farm Arena in Atlanta.
You know, so no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels, you know, and if you come up to 147.
In his latest fight, Gervonta Davis delivered a stunning 8th round knockout against rival Frank Martin in a 12-round non-title bout contested at a catch weight of 136 lbs. Meanwhile, Terence Crawford, now 37, has maintained an impressive streak at welterweight, knocking out or stopping all 8 of his opponents since moving up to the 147 lb division 5 years ago after relinquishing his unified 140 all lb title.
And he's thinking he's just gonna knock Terence Crawford out. Got another thing coming.
So that's a fight you would make happen? If he wanted to come up to 147?
Yeah.
Crawford made a statement in his fight against Errol Spence Jr., sending Spence to the canvas for the first time in his 10-year professional career during the 2nd round. He followed up with 2 more knockdowns in the 7th round, ultimately securing a 9th round TKO victory. However, Crawford argued that a high-profile fight with Gervonta Davis wouldn't earn him much credit as it would require Davis to move up 2 weight classes. creating a significant size disadvantage for the smaller fighter.
147 for him. That's a big money.
That's a big fight. Yeah.
It's a big money fight. You know, yeah.
Little spin.
But then what? Everybody gonna say
Crawford admitted that the potential purse for a fight with Gervonta Davis would be enticing enough to consider. Yeah, I'd stay at 147 for him because that's a big money fight, said Crawford, who is also a former WBO lightweight champion. It's a big money fight, but then what's everyone going to say? He was too small. Nobody's gonna give me credit. They'll say, oh man, you beat up a little guy that fights at 135. Crawford emphasized the size difference between the two fighters, pointing out, Tank's like 5'5". You know, he's a little guy. Yeah, he can punch, but in his weight class. Not saying he couldn't punch in another weight class because power is power, and we've seen that. But what kind of recognition am I going to get for beating up on Tank? A lot of people don't realize that 135 to 147 is a big jump. Almost 20 pounds, well, 12 pounds. But still, that's a big leap.
That Chan, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know
he ain't got no chance. I already know he is.
He said no chance.
I got
Undisputed heavyweight champion Alexander Usyk has voiced his support for Terence Crawford in the potential blockbuster bout against Saul Canelo Alvarez, which is rumored to take place later this year or in early 2025. Speaking on the 3KR podcast, Usyk praised Crawford's decision to jump up 3 weight classes to take on Canelo, calling it a bold and ambitious move. Usyk also highlighted Crawford's exceptional ring IQ and versatility, qualities he believes could play a crucial role in such a high-stakes matchup.
Of course, but there's talk of a potential fight between Canelo and Terence Crawford. How do you see that fight? Who do you like?
Terence. It's
wow.
my friend, but it's crazy man.
Terence is my friend, but he's a crazy man, Usyk said. I say Terence wins. Listen, Terence is a different breed. He fights in 2 stances, and he's a very, very, very smart man. Usyk's endorsement adds weight to the excitement surrounding the potential fight. Meanwhile, Turki Alik has been working tirelessly to finalize the blockbuster clash between Canelo Alvarez and Terence Crawford.
I say Terence win. Yes.
What? Terence win over Canelo.
What? Terence win. But listen, Terence is different man.
The plan is to host the highly anticipated clash between Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez in the United States, either later this year or in early 2025, with the goal of delivering a blockbuster matchup for boxing fans. Canelo has expressed willingness to take the fight, provided the financial terms meet his expectations. While some boxing experts believe Crawford will face significant hurdles due to the jump in weight classes, others argue that his exceptional technical skills and ring IQ could give him an edge, even on Canelo's home turf. Following his dominant victory over Errol Spence Jr., Crawford made it clear that challenging Canelo for the super middleweight title is his next big ambition.
Terence work in two sides. Two sides.
Right. And
Right.
chitter. Yes.
He's a
Yes.
chitter.
Yes.
And
After becoming the undisputed welterweight champion, Terence Crawford stated his willingness to move up 3 weight classes to super middleweight for a mega fight with Canelo Alvarez. However, Crawford's previous suggestions of a catchweight fight at 158 or 160 LOBs were immediately dismissed by Alvarez. That's all for now. For the latest updates, highlights, and events in the world of boxing, stay connected by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Don't forget to turn on notifications so you never miss out on quality content. Until next time, take care.